You are live, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Town of Thompson Planning and Zoning Commission to order. I know, right? It is 7 o'clock on Monday, July 24th, 2023, here in the Merrill Snake Community Room and on Zoom. Throughout the evening, under citizens' comments, please state your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes, speaking directed to the chair in a civil manner at all times. Now, surprise with pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
We'll begin with a roll call. Randy Blackmore.
Dave Popowski. Ray Williams.
Jane Salsey.
Joseph Brody Brown. I see no one online. We will seat Mr. Santos for Ms. Langwitz. Item 4, public hearing. There is none. Item 5, discussion of public hearing. There is none. Item 6, citizens' comments.
None.
Yes, Ms. Clark.
Hi, Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. I just have a request, and I don't know how this happens, but the PNC agenda for the past few months has been coming through, and all it says is regular meeting. It doesn't say that it's the Planning and Zoning Commission, so it's really unclear what it's related to. I don't know how to ask to have that changed somehow.
Yeah, Ms. Clark, is that on the notification service that you subscribe to?
Yes, on the town website, and I noticed that the meetings are labeled regular meeting and it doesn't say PNC.
I know what she means, Kevin. I'll show you
Yeah,
the next
okay.
time you're in.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. We'll look into it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? I see none in the room. I see none online. Item 7, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 26, 2023.
Move that be approved as printed.
A second.
A motion made by Mr. Blackmer, seconded by Mr. Popowski, to approve the minutes of the June 26th meeting as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, a yes vote will approve and no vote will disapprove. Alvin Hill, yes.
Jane Salsey, yes.
Ray Williams, yes. Dave Popowski, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, I abstain. I was not at the meeting. Item 8, applications received. Planning and Zoning Commission application 23-23. Town of Thompson, 815 Riverside Drive, Planning and Zoning Commission application for Town of Thompson zoning regulations to approve proposed amendments to the zoning regulations, Thompson General Code, Section 2, zoning, Section 275-3.6, amendment procedure, Article 2, Section 9. Mr. Sanchez.
I'll move to move this to public hearing for PZC application 2320.
Motion made by Mr. Santos to accept application 23-23 for public hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Blackmer. 23-23.
23.
Yeah, that's it.
23. Is it 2323 or no?
Yeah,
I think so.
so on the application,
So,
it's numbered 23-26.
Oh,
it must be 20.
So that's my mistake,
It's
yes,
supposed to be what?
23-26.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Mr. Santos, will you amend your motion, and Mr. Blackmer, do you second as amended?
Yes.
23-26.
I thought I had corrected everything, but
So the motion has been made and seconded to accept application 23-26 for public hearing at the next regular meeting of the Town of Thompson Planning and Zoning Commission. August
28th, I think.
28th at 7 p.m. Any further discussion?
Just for clarity, to remind the commission of the procedure we've taken with similar things. Assuming that we accept this for public hearing tomorrow, I will publish that draft. And what I will do is there's a couple of discussion notes that I will take out. So we're just presenting the clean amendments. And I did also notice that the last copy of the draft I forwarded to you guys there was a weird thing that happened with the formatting. So I'll fix that so it looks clean.
Any discussion? Hearing none, a yes vote will accept application 23-26 for public hearing at the next regular meeting of the Town of Thompson Planning and Zoning Commission on August 28th at 7 p.m. Mr. Blackmore.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Dave Popowski, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Saulsy, yes.
Calvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. Reports of officers and staff, budgets.
So we have an approved budget that has minimal increases in salaries for Cindy and for Kevin. And we did up the professional services by $1,700 and advertising by $1,000 from previous year. So although modest, it does help us should we have the need for those services. So
David,
small.
is that reflected in any of this information?
Let me just see what we have out.
I
I had my own stuff, so I didn't even.
just gonna interrupt you.
Yep.
Mr. Krogel is in the meeting at 7:07 p.m. Welcome, Mr. Krogel. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Popowski. Now, your question is.
Hold on 1 second now, let me see.
Are the
Back it up.
updated items?
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Yes, it is.
It does.
That's the current budget as allocated. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Popowski. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Any other questions for Mr. Popowski? Hearing none, 9B, Ms. Bynum.
I essentially have nothing. The next big thing is the application you just accepted for public hearing, and I already told you the procedure. I guess to clarify, I will post it and accept public comment via email for the month. I did not say that. So that's it.
Yes, I do have a couple. of
Ms.
things.
Dunn, item 9C, the CEO.
So I brought the book out to show everybody. The ordinances and the regulations are up to code. As I said in my memo, I'm not the easiest person to make change, but this was amazing to go into the code that is right now it's on the selectmen's page website, as I said in my memo to you. Eventually we'll get it on the planning and zoning commission. But it's very simple. All you do is just put in a word that you're looking for and the rest comes up and you can pick out what you want. It's very easy for me copying and just, scanning it and getting it to wherever it has to go. And so I give it an A+. Second thing, I know it's not on the agenda and I don't know if Kai's is on the,
No.
Nope.
was at the meeting. She thought she was going to be able to come tonight. But I had the pleasure of going out to the robotic milking barn on Fort Hills. And the gentleman who was it was the contractor for setting this whole system up was amazing. He walked us through it, Paul. The assessor and I went out there. He walked us through it and it's just unbelievable. So I took some pictures and I printed them. They're in color and I labeled them so you can take a look at it.
When are we gonna get a tour?
Pardon?
When do we get the tour?
I can ask Kai's, if you would like to do that, I will,
I'm sure she'd be more than happy to show us.
She loves to have people up
What's
there,
anything up there for?
so they're looking for
the
maximum
biodigester.
300 cows, milking cows. And that big tank that you will see holds 6,000 gallons of milk. And approximately 6,000 gallons of milk, which will be processed, and it's amazing. It's just was.
None of this I can see from the road.
No, it's
Oh,
way
it's
back.
way in the back, yes, yeah, I was driving down this road,
I
and
keep
going,
looking.
how big is this farm?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is very big, so I was quite pleased to have been invited to go, well, actually, I think I invited myself, because I found out the building office is going, and so I want to go. So I said,
Is it functional now? They got electricity and the power work, the milk, the remote
it
milk
looked
was
like They
working?
had electricity.
Well, if you saw the milk was working, they had electricity.
Oh, no, that's not, it.
Okay.
They're not doing that yet, no, it just showed us, the systems and.
So there's pressure on the gauge on the system, so it must have power.
Yeah, I believe there's power, but they're not milking it, but what was the amazing thing is. Cows, I said, how did the cow know to go into that fencing area to start the milking process? And they said, well, they're smart, animals are smart, and I said, well, yes, I know that.
Yeah, the beta min with a little bit of grain.
Yeah, and that's what they said, yes, that's right, it's gonna be grain in there. But if they had milked an hour before they walked in there, because they want the grain. Then the machine says, no, you cannot come in, they
Yeah.
reject the cow, and the cow has to leave. And I thought that was so amazing.
Wonderful. Anything else, Ms. Stein?
Not there, I just, I put a couple things in here that we're gonna be going over. And to make it easy for you, so you didn't have to go back and forth, I actually copied and paste on those two, the old business.
Right, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Stein? Anyone out there?
I do.
Yeah, Mr. Hill.
When do we get our copies?
This, Tara said that she was making copies.
Kira forgot.
I don't mean to throw
I'm
Tara under the
sorry.
bus.
I forgot.
There was no way I would have time to do this for you guys, so, Tara is going to do it.
Yes, I will do it for you. What would make it easier, however, rather than make 10 all at once, is just let me know when you want to come down and I'll make them one at a time. Much easier.
That
Now.
cruise was a year on that.
Yeah, I'll put your thing on tonight.
Thanks, guys.
This codification came out of work that the town clerk's office did, is that right? Where
Right.
that originated?
It was
Yeah.
funded, at least in part, if not entirely, and I don't know which, by a grant that the town clerk's office. Oh, look, here she is.
There you go.
Um,
And we will, Ms. Moore is present at 7:13. We'll see her from Mr. Rice. Sorry, Randy. That's okay.
Is there any questions about it?
Yeah, we all want to know when we're getting it for.
Yes, that was a question.
I,
I want to wait till the cows are being milked in there.
yes, tomorrow.
You starting tomorrow?
Yes, that's why I'm here late.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
So, knock on wood, everything goes smoothly with the test tomorrow and we'll start up. But we want to get settled first before we have any tours, so, I was talking to Tira and Cindy, I'm pretty sure, and Donna, and we had suggested maybe do a town hall private tour and then wait for the public, let's do one thing at a time, because I can only hold so many people. So, as soon as we move in and get settled, it's gonna be it might not be till the end of August, but
That's fine.
we'll be,
Do people need to be prepared to wear hairnets and booties?
yes.
People should know that.
Yes, so, as soon as I know, what our plan is, we'll get a tour going. And then we'll do a public tour, but one thing at a time. It's a big adjustment for us and the cows,
The
so
cows aren't over there yet, are they?
the dry cows from Norman's.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Hill.
sorry,
Yes, Ms. Greaves, 2 questions. One. First question is, any of the energy being created on your property now, the electricity going to be helped with this?
yes, the electricity from the digester is gonna run the new barn. So when
And we'll
we,
start on the
Yeah.
second question, on the first page there, the long shot of it, said to my mind, where are the speakers?
Photo one.
Right.
Whereas, those are, those are,
That beautiful sound.
those are vents up at the top. So, we didn't go tunnel ventilation, we went those vents, and it actually creates a nice, flow of air. And from our old facility, Blackie knows what I mean, this is like a palace. So, it's, what a difference compared to our old facility versus our new facility.
A lot of the farmers in the Midwest are having great difficulty keeping their lights, their barns cool enough for
Yes,
the animals.
yes,
It's a
we
real problem.
thought maybe we shouldn't have put that many fans in, because we might have too much air. But that's all right.
No, at the end of the week, right?
Yeah, right, I know, right? And then, the Roombas weren't working when you were there, were they? No, so we have manure vacuums, so I don't have a manure vacuum, but my cows do. So, and that vacuum, that sucks up all the poop and dumps it in the pit. And
Last
then-
question, when does PBS come out to photograph?
Yeah.
Could be.
I know,
Yeah, channel 3.
yeah, well, let's get settled. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Any other questions for the CEO? Okay, thank you. Item 10, correspondence, we received the essay only zoning reform can solve America's housing crisis and notice of a public hearing in Webster. Any questions or comments on those?
Yeah, I just thought that would be informative for everybody.
Yeah, thank you for sharing
This
it.
to me, right?
What's that?
Did you? Yeah, I just thought it was very informative. So.
Mr. Hill, thank you for sharing with Ms. Dunn. Ms. Dunn, thank you for sharing with us.
Okay.
Well, what's interesting about it, not only is the essay, but also some opinions.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, item 11, signing of Mylars. 11A, Planning and Zoning Commission, application 23-01, applicant Green Valley Self-Storage LLC, Zachary Laban, 72 Main Street. And there are conditions of approval, as Cindy laid out for us.
So you saw that, Kevin did, outlined, all the those site plans we gave you, but there's the addition right here. That was one of the conditions. The other condition was to have a conversation with the neighbor, because there was an issue of,
Trees.
water. He said he talked to the next door neighbor. He said he doesn't really know who it was that came and talked about it, but the people next door said that there wasn't any problem. There really has never been any problem. So, and he hoped that you're satisfied with that.
Yeah, he did put my stone drains on.
Yes,
In the orange.
Yeah,
yep,
so Cindy, are you satisfied
yes,
with that?
yes.
Mr. Paplowski?
I
you're
am
satisfied?
I'm very satisfied. Looks great.
We all want you to be satisfied.
That would be appropriate.
I'd move that Joe be authorized to sign the Mylar
I'll second that.
for 23-01.
Mr. Blackmore moves, Mr. Williams seconds, the authorization for the chair to sign the Mylar for application 23-01. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I guess authorizes the chair to sign the Mylar. No. Does not give the authorization, Mr.
Elvin Hill, yeah.
Mike Kruger, yes.
Jane Saucy, yes.
Ray Williams, yes. Dave Plosky, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Joseph Burdick,
Can I
yes.
leave?
She had to take a call.
Guys, Ms. Orr stepped out. The chair is authorized to sign the Mylar. Item 11B. Signing of Mylar for application 23-24, applicant Francesca G. Morano, 279 Lowell Davis Road, 2-lot subdivision.
So again, there were 3 conditions and, if I have any, if I messed it up, Daniel's here, he can explain it, but they added 5 barways, for,
Access.
and then they adjusted the driveway entrance, and then they added the culvert that was already there to the site plans. Okay, if you have any questions, Dan, you can answer.
I'll do my best.
Okay, all right.
Are there any questions?
I just,
Mr.
so the
Paplowski?
only question is, with what they're doing for that driveway opening, does it interfere with the scenic road ordinance?
This was Janet's project. I'm not
Oh.
totally sure. I apologize. So, my understanding is it's a scenic road, Bull Davis Road. We don't want to touch any stone walls. And previously, our driveway was going to touch one of the stone walls.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went out, we located the existing breaks in the walls. We moved the driveway so that we don't have to touch any stone walls.
And that's
that reflected on the-
delineated on the, what was
Is
that?
that reflected on the model?
Yes, it is. Yes, I called, I guess it was Janet, I called and talked to her, and she pointed everything out to me that was on, that I had questions about on the conditions.
So that was in response to the. Sounds like,
So, just so I'm clear, there's no improvements needed to the scenic road, but for that driveway to be put on. No drainage culverts or anything else. We don't have the map, so I don't.
Oh, do you want to see the bylaw?
take your word for it.
Okay,
No, we're good. We're good. As long, I just want to make sure we're covered with the scenic road.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Was they supposed to come back in before they developed that, or was by moving the,
Yes, I believe they are because of the scenic road.
so was that supposed to be
Right, I think,
added to
yeah,
the,
I believe so, yeah.
on the Mylar?
All right, let me make a note of that.
She said they've been planning on doing that for quite a few
Right.
years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the more reason it needs to be written on there,
No, we
because it
can't.
won't,
Without,
That was the condition last time. We were not approving the driveway access. If I'm thinking about the right.
Oh, they moved the drive from where it was originally on the site plan.
Nope.
We can't approve it without a public hearing, right? Because if they're drawing a driveway in the public way and it's on a scenic road.
Okay,
You need a public hearing to approve that.
you're
Please
just
tell me if-
approving the subdivision.
Correct.
right,
That's all you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I know, but we're talking about access driveway, stone
Right.
walls. That was a condition that we put.
that's why they need to come back in when they
Correct.
get
The
ready to.
condition was we're not approving driveway.
Right,
They just probably just wanted them
to move it.
to make sure that there was openings that were used previously. So that's almost like,
Yeah, the existing town path,
Existing.
yeah.
When I sent her, her subdivision permit, I attached the ordinances to that permit. It said that when you go to build, here's the ordinance says that you have to come back to the planning and zoning commission for a special permit for them. But that was,
That's,
I can
that's
go
what I
get
was
all that
referring
you
to.
want me
And
to,
that's
but pretty
Thank you.
sure that,
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Move the,
just
Sure.
one other question.
Mr.
So you're gonna sign the Mylars, but. So we don't.
it'll be on the Mylar that they have to come back.
only for the
Okay,
subdivision.
yeah, okay.
and
Thank you. I'm
because that
sorry.
special, because that permit goes into the town clerk's office too, so. And
Okay.
to the, and to the building office, into the assessor's office.
Because it will need a driveway. So it's definitely.
And so,
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion that we authorize Joe to sign my lot for 23-24.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mr. Williams, seconded by Ms. Celsi to authorize the chair to sign the Mylar for application 23-24. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes authorizes the chair to sign, a no does not authorize the chair. Mr. Blackmer.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Ms. Wood.
Guys, yes.
Dave Poplowski, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Salcy, yes.
Mike Google, yes.
Elvin Hill, yeah.
And Joseph Purdy Brown, yes. Item 12, old business, Indian Run Road. Max Candida's request to build 3 houses off of town unaccepted road. Lindy, do you want to take it from here, or Mr. Blanchett for the? application? Yes.
Daniel's gonna.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Blanchett. I'm a licensed civil engineer. I work at J&D, so I'm here to come. Would you like me to set up this side, the other side? What's best?
Maybe a little closer just for the Zoom camera. Yeah, probably as good as you're gonna get.
Okay. All right, so again, I'm here on behalf of the owner, Max Candidus, to seek your approval to build on 3 small lots off Indian Run. I wanted to first show you a map kind of the general area. If you look at the town assessor maps, the Map Geo website, the property lines are 40 feet off, something like that. Houses are on totally different lots. And so I took Google Earth, I made my own assessor map. It's, this one's a little bit better, yeah. So again, so really the three lots that Mr. Candida is hoping to develop are 154, 153, 152 owned by Mr. Spencer. We have all the engineering complete for two of the three lots. We had a little mix up with test pits on lot 154. That property hasn't been designed yet. But again, as you can see, there's houses along Granby Hill. There's several houses on Indian Run. There's one right across the street. There's one on the corner. There's one over here. There's one here. I think there's maybe 7 houses off Indian Run Drive at the moment. This property was created in, I think it was the late 40s. I want to say 47, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. And so again, it didn't go through the formal subdivision process. These properties were created before the subdivision. Yeah, Lake Quiet Shores, August 30th, 1947. So again, now we have the papers flipped around a bit. North is to my right. Here's Indian Run at the bottom, Granby Hill up top, Hiawatha Drive on the right-hand side. Here are the two lots that we're proposing to develop. The lots are small, they're 50 by 125 feet. I think it's something a little over 6,000 square feet in area. Right now for the lake zone, the minimum is 15,000. When Max purchased these lots, the minimum was 5,000. So again, when we started this project, they were totally conforming for the lake zone. It wasn't until January of 2023 that was changed to be 15,000. There's small lots. The health code has a big impact on developing these lots. There's a lot of limitations with respect to size. We can really only build 2 bedrooms. We can't have basements because the basement can be too close to the septic tank. So again, we're building really pretty small houses here. This house is 24 by 28. Again, wells near the front, near the street. There's wells in the front, septic systems in back. Luckily, the soils are ideal here, very sandy soils. A lot of times, if the soils were slightly worse, these lots would not be built. There would be no way to meet the health code. Also, the proximity of the adjacent septic systems has a big impact. Again, depending on where the neighbors' wells and septic systems, that can make a property unbuildable. In this case, Max had done his homework and he got a little bit lucky. And all the neighboring wells and septic systems are in the right place where we can meet the health code with respect to separation distances. Again, wells have to be 75 feet from any part of the septic. We have a well here, we have a well right across the street. And again, the septic systems are located in back. This is a little bit of an unusual project. There's an ordinance that requires your approval for this type of lot. I'll read the ordinance really quickly. Cindy was kind enough to provide this to me a little while ago. It says no building permit for construction of any dwelling, remodeling, mobile homes, blah, 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 shall be issued for any lot which does not abut a town road or state highway, unless the Planning and Zoning Commission shall either A, have an approved subdivision plan, that's not us, or B, issue written permission for the issuance of such building permit after having considered the impact of such a structure on the neighborhood and town, particularly with regard to traffic, residential density, access to sewers or septic systems, the size of the lot, and suitability of the proposed structure to the neighborhood. So again, I don't think we're here to get a permit from this commission necessarily, but we're hoping that you will vote to authorize, I guess, the building inspector to issue a building.
Authorized for me to sign a building permit.
Okay, thank you. Again, we are meeting the building setbacks, we're meeting the frontage requirement. Really, the only thing that we're not meeting is the minimum lot size. And a few months ago, that was conforming. It's not currently conforming. In my experience, typical, being undersized by itself does not preclude development. I have printouts from the town of Woodstock and the town of Pomfret that basically say there is no minimum lot size. If you're meeting the health code, if you're meeting the building setbacks, frontage and lot area. They can't deny you a zoning permit based on that because there are lots of record. They've been taxed as lots of record. As long as we're meeting the health code, the building setbacks, they will issue zoning permits. There's no wetlands nearby, so that's not an issue. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. Like I said, I think this is a really pretty reasonable project. There's houses almost right across the street. It's not like these houses are really far away from anything. The road is narrow, it's a gravel road, but there's houses on both sides of where we're proposing to build. And there's several houses on the south end. I believe the south end is paved. I haven't been down there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Hill. Two point. I have lot 167, 68, and 69, and you changed them. I can't read it from here. So what's lot 167 on my?
No, that's it.
52, 53.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
These were the lots when it was subdivided. These are the lot, oh, no, these are the current lot numbers. Yeah, we're proposing 152
So the maps are.
switched. Yeah, this is Brandy Hill. North is not the same. They're flipped like 180.
Okay.
Brandy Hill's at the bottom here. Brandy Hill's at the top up
So
here.
in other words, these lots are 167, 168, 161.
No, it's not the one speaking.
The 160s have houses
Oh,
already.
okay, 354.
Yeah, the 160s are off Brandy Hill. Those have houses
Yep.
already.
Okay, I got it. Second question, soils.
I'm
Look
sorry.
like everything passed. Is it gravel? What do we got?
It's very sandy soils.
Any outcrop?
Um,
I noticed I was out there today and I noticed there's a lot of oaks. That tells me that there could be ledge or outcroppings. Did you notice any?
There was no ledge observed in the test pits. Normally when I'm designing a septic system, there's something called MLSS, minimum leaching system spread. The health code doesn't want you to have 10 short trenches. They're gonna stack up and blow each other out, it's not gonna flow. Normally, septic systems, leach fields have to be 50, 60, 70 feet long. The exception is when the soil is perfect sand and gravel. In this case, MLSS is not applicable. The soils are so good that any effluent is going to go straight down. It's not going to hit a layer and go to the side. And so, like I said, if the soils were worse, there's no way we meet health code. Our leaching trenches, again, they're only 2 bedrooms, but they're something like 15 feet long. They're super compact, efficient systems. Again, the soil is perfect sand and gravel. If it was any worse, they wouldn't be buildable because our septic system would be wider than the lot is.
I saw the oak trees out there, my God, that's 3 feet across. And they've been.
Yeah.
How they're gonna drop those trees without taking the lines beyond me? You got 2 humongous.
They're already cleared.
Yeah, it's all cleared over there.
What's that?
You said it's already cleared.
I was out there today, I must have been looking. up
You're on the
the
wrong road.
Brandy Hill Road.
I was on Indian Dirt Road,
Indian run dirt. That's-
those humongous trees right through there.
If you put down any mass on it.
There was, nothing bigger than like this, probably the 4-year growth or 50-year, growth. It wasn't any humongous now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Santos.
Okay, so. In the current regulations, we talk about private roads and shared roads, and things of that nature. And I'm just gonna use the phrase, it's about managing homeowners' expectations from it, right? So let's talk about the word maintenance and then plowing. I think we've done a real good job with the regulations to kind of put into certain deeds. Who manages what, who does certain maintenance on the road and who does certain plowing. In this particular regard, I brought up last time that I was only concerned about plowing because I think the maintenance is a dirt road. People have accepted that already. The house is there already.
Yeah.
So for me, plowing is number one because I surely don't want to be engaged in approving a house and then no one knows who's plowing it. And then there's an emergency situation with a fire truck that needs to get down there. And I don't want to have egg on our face that we've approved something without generally understanding who is plowing the road.
Would I be able to put on the deed that? Right on the deed that homeowner would be, so everybody knows, banks, everybody, that homeowner is responsible for their own plowing up to their house.
Absolutely. Now, how you framework that is fine.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, speaking for myself. I just want to make sure that whoever buys the property there and you're building these things, the people know what they're responsible for. And managing their expectations that they are in charge of plowing the road. For me, it's about an emergency situation. I think the town overall, we have an issue that we need to deal with maintaining roads and plowing roads. But since this is a dirt road, I'm not going to engage in the word maintaining right now. But I think as a group, we need to talk about that word and what we're doing. I did get the email here from the Department of Public Works outlining the private roads and unaccepted roads. But for me, it's just about as long as you're putting in the deed.
Yep.
And telling these people what they're responsible for.
I'm
fine with that. Now, the only other thing I'll bring up is, I wasn't maybe not thinking clearly last time about the zone, the lot size. I do know of a couple other building permits that were put through on already subdivided less than 15,000 square feet. So we need to go to ZBA for that?
No, because the Daniel said these are non-conforming lots before the zoning regulations come.
Perfect, thank you very
And
much.
as long as they have their setbacks, they're fine.
Okay, so as long as the condition is put on about deed and plowing, and that's understood, I'm good with that, but I think there's a larger conversation about the word maintenance and future conversations about other unaccepted streets.
Brian, wouldn't the terms unacceptable, unaccepted town road said the same thing? If they have that on the deed, every lot with that term?
I'm not following out, I'm sorry.
So you're saying like, I think he's getting into the specifics of what's put on the deed, right? If it says that it's it's an unaccepted road, it's not an accepted road by the town.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
that
know if you, I
sufficient?
don't even know if you need to do that. I think it's just you own plowing in the run drive, right? And providing that access. Now, the neighborhood can figure out what that means.
Yeah.
But they just know that they gotta plow the road, right, in some way, shape, or form to get access emergency vehicles down there. Now, I'm not gonna get into specifics of that, because I think that's a several-hour conversation that we're not willing to have, nor do I want to engage in. I'm just making sure that people understand and manage their expectations that they're plowing that road.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Mr. Blackmer?
I agree with what you're saying, except I think that maintenance and snow plowing should be included. I drove over that road today and I
Yeah.
don't think we need to make the town responsible for anything.
Yeah, the
People,
town's not responsible for anything there as it is right now from this email that I'm seeing, Randy. And the only reason I'm not bringing up the maintenance for this community to do anything is because there's a dirt road already and there's houses there. So again, I think it's a larger conversation with this group, with this list that we got, talk about maintenance and plowing.
there's a
Future
couple of,
conversation.
okay, there's a couple of, or one slope in particular that, I don't think the town should be involved in having to grade that or anything, and so that's,
I'm not saying the town is doing anything with this Indian run
well,
drive.
I think that,
Zero.
I agree with that, but I think you need more than just saying snow plowing. I think you need to say maintenance as well.
Yeah, I'm, you know, like, obviously Max and they're looking to move forward. We were trying to help them last time. For me, it's just about plowing the road. It might not be a perfect road, but that's why I'm getting at. We need to have another conversation about this word maintain, you know,
I agree
down
with,
the line. So
I agree
that's
with
my-
that too, but if we come up with the definition next month of what maintain means, it won't apply to this unless it's put onto the the plan now.
Unfortunately, there's other residents already on this, none of the orders.
I wasn't aware of that, but the people that are there now know that the town's not gonna come through. And I think that if it's on the, the deed, that it's not, the road is not maintained.
Unmaintained town road. Town is not responsible for maintenance and snow plowing. If you're willing to snow plow, you're willing to know that there's no maintenance too, so I don't have a problem with that.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Ms. Beck.
so Brian, when the town sent me over this list, I immediately thought even looking at my list, knew that it wasn't all complete road.
Yeah, no, I realize.
And I sent you
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more than just this list.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the list I have been
Yeah.
working, which I put in your packet. I've been working off in like 5.5 years. So, so there's a lot more of them.
Definitely, and then obviously the people that have deeds on the street already don't have any of this language at all, right? But we have to make a breaking point at some point to say, yeah, people own plowing, people own maintenance, like this is the conversation that I want to have in the future, like, I'm sorry, we have to move forward, we just can't keep on approving these things. You know,
But we don't know if they're deeds. I've never looked into any of the deeds. Have you looked into any of the deeds of the other?
Well, I mean, I think the other, the other deeds are irrelevant, right?
But it's irrelevant, whether it has it or not. I'm saying, moving forward, we need to do a better job. Making sure that somebody's plowing either private roads or unaccepted roads, and that we're managing these people's expectations that they're doing. Right, and
Ms. Penn.
Just to sort of piggyback on what you're saying, I was attending a Board of Selectmen meeting a few months ago on a somewhat unrelated topic, but this topic was, or a related topic to this was on the agenda that evening about, you know, what are we going to do? What is our solution for describing the town's burden or lack of burden on, you know, paper streets, unaccepted town roads, accepted but unmaintained, right? So that, although I think it's fine for the Planning and Zoning Commission to have a conversation about that, the responsibility for that ultimately is through the Board of Selectmen, because this stuff is controlled. The thing that's the hang up point here is an ordinance. It's not a zoning regulation, right? It's a badly written ordinance that, although protective in some ways, also has some not great language in it, right? So yes, all of these things need to be addressed. It may or may not actually be the jurisdiction of the Planning and Zoning Commission to address that. So in terms of this conversation, I think it's, you know, looking to try to work with the ordinance as it is, make the statement that presumably will get you guys over the line to give the permission, and then we'll deal with that other problem later.
Yeah,
Ms.
but,
Dunn.
yeah, in relation to what Tara said, the only exception I have to that is that, yes, it does fall in your lap, because the ordinance says it falls in your lap. You
right
have
now
to
it
make-
does,
yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
The responsibility, but they can't rewrite the ordinance.
No, I understand they can't rewrite the ordinance, but, I think the ordinance is pretty good myself. I think it's real clear.
This is part of the reason why we need that order.
Yes, exactly.
It's gonna take a long time, but
And I think,
just to be able to process this application and move forward. My opinion.
I have a question maybe, or a point of clarification. You know, I appreciate what Brian's saying. I appreciate his respect for the future owners of this. Correct me if I'm wrong, this road is owned by the town. It's a public road, but it's not accepted. Is that correct? It doesn't meet the width, the surface requirement.
Great question.
that is a great.
That's a great-
And that's what,
Okay.
that's what
Angled west.
Paul did in that research. I gave them one piece of paper that Paul researched the roads, and he left that blank.
Okay.
And so the confusion, several others left blank too. And the other confusion is the email I got back was, this is a private driveway. Well, it doesn't say on my reference list, it says unaccepted streets.
Yes.
That has to be clear.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm considering it an unaccepted street,
Is it
and it
paper road?
is in their purview to give me approval to sign the building permit.
There's trees on it.
Is it paper road?
Well, now we have another word.
Yeah, almost paper roads. That many houses.
Yeah, so we are unable to answer that question for you this evening, Mr. Blanchett. Mr. Poplawski.
So this is for three, but you've two highlighted, right? Just to be clear. So it's for
Correct.
Three,
Yeah,
okay.
we're hoping that you'll vote to approve all three. Again, I'm very confident that once we have test pits, you know, the third will have a septic design that's acceptable to the health department.
And the third is in fact lot 154.
Yes. yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We're both under same ownership here.
So this.
And-
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just one more,
it's gonna require a motion and a vote.
The property lines you've investigated, do they own the center of the street? The center of the unmaintained street?
I don't believe so. Again, all my research says it is a public right of way owned by the town. But of course, the town's not going to accept it if it doesn't meet the standard.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm not sure if they plow it. Again. there's one-
He said they don't.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
I haven't seen that one.
There was this.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
My son-in-law picks up trash down there in the wintertime. He said it's the worst road he drives on
Really?
in 3 states.
Wow. Wow. It's flat and straight.
It's not all flat, there's one slope.
Any other questions, Mr. Hill?
Well, our commission tonight is just to give you a letter saying that we approve or not approve.
For me to sign the building permit, yes.
That's all we're going to do.
Yes.
and we can put that condition on.
Yeah.
The approval.
Right, exactly. And so what happens is I get the minutes, I write the letter, send it to Max, Daniel, bring it up to the building office, goes in the folder. And I don't sign it until the condition is met.
And I say we call out the specific lots too. Yeah, because it's, with the plan.
It sounds like Mr. Santos is ready to make a motion. Is there anyone who wants to add to the conversation? before he does? Matt, I recognize Mr. Santos.
I will make a motion to approve, allow Cindy to write off on building permits for 3 lots, 152, 153, and 154 on Indian Run Drive. I'll make the condition after second.
I'll second it.
A motion made by Mr. Santos, seconded by Mr. Poplawski to approve the CEO to allow the permitting to go forward for lots 152, 153, and 154 on Indian Run Drive. Is there any discussion on the motion?
With conditions.
That hasn't
So my
happened.
one and only condition is that the deed clearly outlined to the lots and owners of these properties that they own the snow plowing and general access.
And maintenance.
Possible,
I
maybe.
don't want to use the word maintenance just yet, just because it is a dirt road. I think that word could be taken a little bit different, so snow plowing and access is what I'm most concerned with.
Mr. Santos has moved to add a condition that the deed will clearly state that the homeowners, the lot owners, are responsible for snow plowing on the road. There is a second for that condition.
I'll second. Oh. Good.
I don't want to overstep it.
Ms. Orr seconds. Ms. Orr seconds. Hey, any discussion on the condition?
I think it's the right thing.
Hearing none, the condition again is that the deed will carry language informing the homeowners that they own the responsibility for plowing the road.
Actually, they're responsible for plowing their way out. They're not responsible for plowing that whole road.
I may have mischaracterized Mr.
Well,
Santos.
no, what he said was the same thing, but what he means is they gotta get out on their own.
Right.
And you said not, the town does not plow the road.
Non-specific and on purpose, but maybe we should want to be specific in their own way.
Yeah, because you don't give them, have to do the whole road.
Maybe you could say the town takes no responsibility for maintaining it.
And plowing, there you go. I'd amend the,
I just want to be,
I don't know if that takes away what you were just outlining. You just questioned whether or not they owned all of them. No, they owned.
How about if the lot owners are responsible for
Plowing their own way out to the main, to the,
Exits.
it's the first town road.
How about the landowners are required to maintain their own winter access on that road?
Access work for me.
Work for me.
It's generic,
Homeowners are required to maintain
their own winter access.
their own winter entry and exit access.
So they know what that means though. Yeah, it's the word maintain,
May I make a suggestion here,
Ms. Penn.
which you may consider it as you like? I would suggest that the condition could be to affirmatively state on the deed that the town does not maintain or plow the road, and that therefore the responsibility for access is on the individual property owner.
Okay. I think that covers.
I'll go along with
Okay,
I can live with that. I'm not sure it's dealing with what Randy brought up, but no, that's fine with me.
so the motion that is currently on the table is Mr. Santos's, so do you amend your motion
Terrace.
to that language?
I did, yes.
Ms. Orr, do you second as amended?
Yes.
Any further discussion on?
You good with that next?
So yeah, I don't have any say in this, as you guys, but my only comment is if you just say the word maintain, are they really gonna know that that's no?
I don't think Terry used the word.
I did.
Yes, no.
I said affirmatively state on the deed that the town does not maintain or plow,
Oh, okay.
and
It
that
was
therefore the
not-
responsibility, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, any further discussion on that condition? Okay, so the vote is to approve the condition.
You get that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay.
A yes vote will approve the condition, a no vote will reject the condition. Mr. Black.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Kaiser Levesque, yes.
Dave Popowski, yes.
I say those yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Saucy, yes.
Mike Gergel, yes. Alvin Hill, yeah.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. Okay, the motion then on the table is to approve the ZEO to issue permits for lots 152, 153, 154 on Indian Run Drive with condition. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, a yes vote will authorize the ZEO to issue such permits with condition. A no vote will not authorize the ZEO to do so. Mr. Hill.
Yes, Alvin Hill, yes. Mike Gergel, yes.
Jane Saucy, yes.
Ray Williams, yes, but only because it was a non-conforming lot and he owned it before.
When it was conforming.
Before that, we had our new regulation. I just wanted to put that in, add that in.
I said those yes.
Dave Popowski, yes.
Kaiser Levesque, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. So the ZEO is authorized to issue permits with condition. Item 13, new business, 13A, preliminary discussion on 1105 Product Town Farm Road. Thank you, Mr. Finley. Thank you for your time. Request to provide
Thanks for coming
occasional
back.
acoustic music and Saturday farmers market at store location.
Did everybody get a chance to read my write-up on this? From the memo, or actually attached to the new business on the copy tape. So this came about, I'm surprised that, David and, Christine Anderson aren't here. So this came about because I got a complaint that about 3 weeks ago on Friday night, they were playing very loud music at night and it was disturbing the neighborhood. It is a very quiet neighborhood. Everybody is familiar with the location. It was a country store down in the corner of, Quantic and,
Coach's Corner.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach's Corner. Yeah, okay, that's what it was, yeah. So because that basically was a non-conforming business to our new regulations, I don't know if everybody, just a little backstory, that section, another section in that area is actually zone commercial. I was very shocked to see that when I did some research on it. But I was told that they did that back then, it would make it convenient to have businesses, so anyways. So basically now it's a the operation, the use of that property is non-conforming. When he came to me, I signed off the red book because he is doing the same use as it always has been. If he had changed it and decided that he wanted to have a smoke shop, well, that would be different. You'd have to come to the planning and zoning commission under whatever our chart says in that zone. So they want to do music, which was never done in the past, and they want to do farmers market, so, do farmers markets on Saturday, which was never done in the past. So they're looking toward me and I'm looking toward you for guidance under the regulations as to where should I tell them to go to give them permission to do those two activities on their property. I don't know if you've had time to think about this, you've had time to look at the regulations,
When you say farmer's market, does that mean that farmers will bring in their produce and sell it up?
yeah, that's pretty much the general
Or
definition.
is it gonna be
Want to start something.
more like a roadside stand where they're
Wouldn't be
gonna,
roadside stand, no, it's fine, they said to bring people in, farmers in to sell their products.
my concern is, where is the parking? It's not a good intersection unless I think they've got to come up with some serious parking area. If they wanted to do something like the farmer's market.
So if I may, Mr. Wagner, right, so if they. Starting with the farmer's market, right, the farmer's market, I do agree with Cindy's statement in her memo, right, that it could be. They could apply for approval under farm-based. Recreational business, seasonal or ongoing. That would require them to come in. For not a special permit, but a site plan review by the commission. In which they would have to then answer these questions that. You are, I think, rightly bringing them. Ms. Salzman.
My concern is along with what Randy has said, is the congestion that would be there because that road is
already hectic.
it is not the best, there's enough traffic there as it is, and if this is allowed, I think we're looking at a mess. Where are they gonna do the parking? I mean, obviously, they have the land, if you're looking at it, to the right of the building where they have their, their chairs, everything else, their tables, but that's a bad intersection. And where are they gonna put the parking? Are they gonna line up and down the streets, which of course is gonna cause problems with the people that live there? It is gonna make a much more congested intersection than it is already. And I'm at that intersection 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, and so Cindy, I mean, I think you could tell them that they could. You could apply and that the commission has voiced some serious concern.
Okay. So what about the music? Where should I tell them to go with that? Because if they did have the farmer's market, she did indicate that they would want music at the farmer's market, which a lot of farmers markets do. They want to do music on weekends, in the evening.
They're saying acoustic, that's one thing, but if they're blaring music, that's something.
Yeah, that's something else. What was the complaint?
The complaint was because what they were playing that particular Friday night was very loud.
Okay, one other thing, if they're gonna have a farmer's market there, that isn't gonna take place from 7 to 10 at night, it's gonna be from 1 to 5 in the
They said,
afternoon.
yes.
If they have the farmer's market and the acoustic music while the farmer's market's open, would be one thing. If they think they're gonna continue that till midnight, they got another thing coming.
So what you're saying is there's probably nowhere in our current regulations in that district that they would be able to have music in that location
It's
outside.
Quite tight there, isn't it, with the
Yeah.
houses? I mean,
Well, the one house right across the road,
yeah.
Well, again, like if they're talking about someone strumming a guitar while people are
Okay,
buying their
But
arugula,
not like.
like that's one thing, right? And
And that's the farmer's market.
right.
Yes, but not at night.
But if they're looking to have somebody play music while people are sucking down ice cream, that's.
And where are they going?
You know what I mean? Put it that
Where
way.
are they gonna, if they just play,
Well, it's alcohol use.
Like ice cream, yeah.
Ms. Orr,
Just a question, if they just play music, the parking is still a problem, isn't it? Because where are they gonna park?
well,
People-
and again, I agree with you. But that's what the site plan review is.
Right.
Right, you don't need to
Sorry.
pre-legislate this, right?
I wanna see
Yeah.
what they're.
We're gonna have to see first, that's why the regulations out for the site plan.
I wanna see it.
I think, just to add, I think that Cindy, you're correct. I think it's two separate uses. I think you've got,
Yeah,
you know, you hit the nail on the head with both uses.
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, it is, but they're
Individually.
two different animals.
Aside from what they're already doing.
Mm.
So, you know, three uses at that one location is what potentially we're looking at with that site plan. review.
Right. Okay. You know, I'll just tell them to kind of lead their own pace with music, but there's nothing really that we can give it to them under. Is that an okay answer? I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the, some of it was brought up concerns about the acoustics.
Right, I would tell them, okay, I went in there very diplomatically because they're new, and I said, I just courtesy call. To, you know, that I received this complaint and here is your process.
But didn't they have Victoria Station and? Putnam?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Item 13B, Siting Council. Application for modifications at 720 Winnebago Road.
Again, you know, we had just decided I would just send you the cover letter, if anybody wants to look at it, the record's right here,
There's no action to be taken.
again.
Thank you. Item 14, review of ZBA minutes, Bates Auto Report. Do you have anything there?
Yeah, I just want to say the one thing that, I mean, well, this was 2 weeks ago, so maybe in a week or so, that, Carlo Basso's name will be on the ownership. Because it's going into probate, and that's what he does. So we're hoping for that, and then we'll just keep moving on.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job across the street,
Yeah, it looks good.
yeah. Yeah, so.
Thank you for keeping on that. Cindy. Item 15, citizens' comments. Sorry, I don't know, Bradley Keough.
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. This is Bradley Keough, 95 Elmwood Hill Road. I don't know if the conversation, this is just comments, I guess, but I live half a mile up from Alamo, which is the, Aquatic General Store. And the night that they had that music, I actually was down there with my wife and kids. We had ice cream. I know last month you all had a conversation about acoustic versus having amplifiers and such. And I think the band did have some amplifiers, but it wasn't what I would consider to be excessively loud. I don't live right across the road from there, but it wasn't what I consider to be excessively loud. And they stopped pretty early. My kids were still down there with my wife and I having ice cream. So it wasn't very late for what that's worth. And I will say, as far as parking, I think I'd love to see a farmer's market there as a neighbor. But parking would be a challenge if it got busy. Even that night, we parked off the side of the road on Elmwood Hill, just up from that the store. So that's just comments for the commission to take into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keough. Any others? I see none. Item 16, commissioners' comments. I see none. Item 17, our next meeting is August 28th at 7 p.m. right here and on Zoom. Item 18,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
motion made by Mr. Papaki, seconded by Ms. Salsi. All those in favor? All right,
Bye.
motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 8:04 p.m. Thank you.
You're doing good for me.
Have a good evening, everyone.
You know what? A European vacation will do wonders for you.